Thank you very much. Yeah. Now, I am happy to take, am I taking questions? Would you like me to take some questions? Wonderful, yes, I'm very happy to take questions. I think if you just yell them out, I'll read them out. This beautiful man in the red hat, I'll tell you first. If you yell it out, I'll repeat it. Yes,
Milo,
yes.
Can you sign my book for me?
Of course I will, darling, of course. What is it? Oh, it's Crippled America, of course I will. Yes, come up, of course I will. Thank you so much. Let me
Remember me from last year?
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Look under his hat. Oh,
thank you very much.
Bad. I should have brought a better one.
That's all right. That's
nice to see you again.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Let's go this man down here in the brown.
Milo, do you have any thoughts on war with Russia?
War with Russia. Isn't it weird? So Donald Trump is supposed to be the irresponsible, dangerous candidate, and he's the one saying, well, it would actually be quite a good idea if America had a reasonably good relationship with another nuclear superpower. Well, it seems to me eminently sensible that we have a reasonably friendly relationship with another nuclear superpower. Hillary Clinton seems to want to go to war with Russia. She'll lose, like she loses everything else. You know, she's one of the most ineffective people in American public life, and one of the most notoriously corrupt that I can think of. I mean, I can't. You know, it's weird. She's been in public life for 30 years, and she's never been satisfactorily able to answer the question, "What have you done? What have you achieved?" Well, she might achieve hostilities with Russia if she's president, from everything she's saying. But it seems to me that just another one of those weird things, just sort of media doublethink. Donald Trump says something that's obviously perfectly sensible, which is, "Be nice if we got on." And it's used as evidence that he's dangerous and irresponsible. It's completely bizarre to me, but it's the reason why you should stop reading the newspapers and turn off CNN. Yes, this lady here in the black hat. Yes. Hi, darling.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fabulous.
The African American Coalition leader for the County of Los Angeles.
Wonderful.
I get this question a lot from African Americans.
Yes.
Okay, what would you tell African Americans that keep saying Donald Trump is racist, opposed to Hillary is not racist? There's a lot of African Americans out here that are swaying towards Hillary.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand if Donald doesn't get those African American votes, he won't win.
Right.
So we need to turn African Americans around. So what would you suggest to tell African Americans?
I would So the black community in America has been engaged in this business of, you know, the old adage of sort of repeating the same thing and expecting a different outcome is a definition of madness. Well, they've been engaged in this sort of demonstration of madness, which is that their communities are not getting any better, their lives aren't getting any better, but they keep voting in Democrats, thinking that that's going to fix the problem, not realizing that all of the incentives that Democrats have are toward keeping people down and dependent on the state. Removing the black father, as Bill Clinton's crime bill did, these insane wars on drugs, and making the black family dependent on the state. I would encourage you, when you're speaking to African Americans, to ask them to put their feelings aside and focus on facts. Ask them to stop, you know, looking at appearance and look at reality. Look at what the Clintons have done to the black community. Look at the effects of Bill Clinton's policies. And look at what would happen, what is going to happen to the black community if Hillary Clinton gets in. Because it's not just going to be the white working classes who suffer after immigration amnesty. It's going to be a very close second, if not equally, it's going to be blacks in this country who suffer when millions of unskilled workers are given the right to work here and to pay tax and to live here. It's going to be the black community that is repeatedly abused. It's a sort of abusive relationship, repeatedly taken for granted, and then treated like utter trash. And Obama is the worst example of this, by Democrats, and they keep coming back for more punishment. I would encourage them to set their feelings aside about whether they like the guy. Absolutely no evidence he's ever said anything racist toward blacks whatsoever that I've ever seen, so any allegation like that's just fucking dumb. I'd encourage them to look at what will happen with Hillary in power and what might happen with Trump in power. As I say, there's only really a couple of things that can help the black community in America. It is not Black Lives Matter. It is things like better schools. And if the black community keeps voting in Democrats as mayors, they're going to keep getting Chicago. You want to have Giuliani, you want to save black lives, have proper policing, build some decent schools, and enable the smartest black kids from the worst neighborhoods to get to Harvard, you need to start voting in Republicans. Yeah.
Hello, Milo.
Hi, darling.
Yeah. Hello, Milo.
Aha, there we go.
There we go, much better. I'm planning on following you again in UC Berkeley and in UCLA, and I was just wondering
Commend you on your excellent taste.
Oh, yes, I know. I read all of your articles on Breitbart. I'm fanboying out right now. It's hard to contain myself.
Thank you.
But you're going to be continuing this tour after the election, and I just wanted
Yes.
to know, what do you plan on doing with the Dangerous Faggot Tour if Hillary Clinton is elected?
Well, there's a cynical answer to this, which is that her in the White House would be great for business. Because there's not, I mean, look, here's the important thing to remember. This movement is not going away, irrespective of what happens in this election. The people in this room are not going anywhere. I'm very proud and very grateful to have been taken in by, whatever you want to call it, Generation Trump, cultural libertarians, alt-light maybe. I'm very proud and happy to have been taken in by so many of you, and for so many of you to come to read my stuff and come to my talks. But there's this lie put about by the media that if Trump loses 30%, let's say for the sake of argument that 30 to 35% of the American population are just die-hard, desperate, huge Trump fans. These people aren't going to evaporate. They're not going to disappear. None of their concerns are going to change. And in fact, with her in the White House, their complaints are going to get worse. They're going to get louder about it. And people who liked her are going to stop liking her. And independents are going to be, oh my God, what have we done? This movement isn't going to disappear if she's in the White House. It's going to get bigger. And all of the things that I talk about that I think are so important, and I'm going to give a talk at Dartmouth in defense of hazing, because I think it's an enormously important part of what? I'm going to give a talk at Dartmouth next week in defense of hazing. What happens on American college campuses matters everywhere. And fighting what Hillary Clinton will do, whether it's with new, hitherto unimagined horrors along the lines of Title IX, or any of the other infringements on free speech that she and her cronies have planned, it will be more important than ever to take the fight to them and to continue to speak to college campuses and to continue to humiliate college administrations who refuse to stand for free speech, free expression, and free intellectual inquiry, and who deny the wishes and the rights of their own students to try to ban speakers with the wrong opinions. It will become all the more important. So don't worry, I'm going nowhere. You're telling me who to choose, and it doesn't work that way. Oh, go on, Ariana. Go on, Ariana. You choose. Who did you want? Yeah, this lady here.
Hi. I really like your videos. So, okay. My name's Zara, and my dad came to came to America from Mexico when he was 3, and his parents came illegally. And I am very much against illegal immigration. I have been my whole life. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it's a difficult conversation to have with people who are pro-illegal immigration when they always use like family and emotion to counter what I believe. Mm-hmm. And I don't know exactly how I can logically argue that illegal immigration is a bad thing when I probably wouldn't be here if my family hadn't, so. Yeah.
Well, you're the best example of, you're the best weapon you have in your own arsenal, because you're somebody who has transcended their own personal interests and taken a stand on an issue that would have affected your family personally. I consider that very brave and very commendable. It's not nothing for you to stand up and say that. It's not, It's not easy to say that. It's not easy to say that. Maybe your family is listening. You know, maybe your friends are going to hate you for it. It's not easy to say, I benefited from this thing, but I think it's bad. It's very brave and very admirable for you to do that. What I think it shows is that people can separate their own self-interest, their own feelings, and their own biographies from an analysis of what is right for the country going forward. And I think that's the way you explain it to your friends. You say, look, I benefited from this, but I recognize that it's wrong. That's the most powerful argument you can make, because it is an argument with absolutely no personal vested interest. So thank you very much for sharing that, and I hope that you go to your friends with exactly that line of reasoning, because it's sort of unarguable.
Thank you.
Yeah. Down here, please. This man in the nice turquoise.
Hi, nice
Hello.
to meet you again.
Oh, nice to see you again. How are you?
And I'd like to, I'm a Chinese American, second generation, and my parents immigrated here, and we live in the Bay Area, so I'm kind of like a rare Pepe, because most of my friends are voting liberal, and I think that most of the problems we have right now can fall under the umbrella of the rise of anti-Americanism. We lost our values, and they were replaced with socialist and collectivist thought. And I'm wondering what could have the old conservatives done in order to prevent it, and will this be something useful in order for conservatives, after we win something, to make sure that this does not happen again?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's interesting that so you're Chinese American. Well, the liberals hate you too. They hate you because you work hard. They gerrymander your SAT scores. They say that you somehow are the beneficiaries of white privilege as well. This gives you a little window into what's really going on. I mean, they like to divide everybody by race, but what it's really about is that the left hates aspiration, hard work, glamour, achievement. They hate all of those things. That's why they hate me so much. They hate all of the things that made this country wonderful, and they hate many of the things that characterize the Chinese American community, as we're obliged to say. As to what previous generations of conservatives could have done, the answer is anything. They could have tried something. They did nothing. They gave up on Hollywood, which is probably the most important battleground of the last 50 years. Not so much anymore, although it's sort of shifted to things like Netflix and Amazon now. But that's, it's slow. The founder of the site I work for, Andrew Breitbart, used to say that politics is downstream from culture. By the time you're talking about policies and electoral whatever, you're treating the symptoms. The disease has already taken root. And to fix it, you have to fix it in academia, in culture, and in the media too. Conservatives in this country gave up fighting on all three fronts decades ago. They just stopped bothering. And you should be very, very angry. You should be very angry with them for that. And you should do something outrageous like, I don't know, vote in a ballsy, boisterous, blonde, rich New York property developer who promises to leave the Republican Party in the bloody mess it has deserved for decades to be in. That selfishness and lack of advocacy on your behalf, but also just unwillingness to win and to fight. They're just such lazy old boobies, most Republicans in this country. They're just losers and lightweights and limp-wristed. I mean, they're fags, frankly. They're fags. That really needs to be replaced by something else, and I think it already has been. I think it's been replaced by this movement and this candidate, and the movement that will exist irrespective of what happens this election, although I know that we all hope, and now again looks like it's possible, we all hope that he's going to get into the White House. Even if he doesn't, this is the new face of conservatism in America, and they can like it or they can leave. Let's go to. I've been picking on too many boys. We've got a girl here. What? Everybody's trying to tell me to. Oh, look, there's a lady here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. It's a very fetching color. I think we'd all like to see it. Why don't you stand up? There we go. Beautiful.
Hello, Milo.
Hi.
My name is Elizabeth. Charles and I are very big fans of yours.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And the question I have for you is, should President Trump be our reality, God willing, where do you envision these nasty liberal feminist cancers growing next?
Isn't it wonderful hearing a woman say that? Well, if Donald Trump makes it into the White House, you're not going to see outbreaks of disease. You're going to see something like a nuclear holocaust. You're going to see, just an outbreak of just apoplectic, spurg-out rage from all of the worst people in the world. And it is true that I think this country would benefit from a wall. And it is true that I think this country, should have better trade policies. And it is true that I care about political correctness and free speech and the First and Second Amendment. But my most honest moments, just before I fall asleep and just after I wake up, after the other thing, I kind of just want to see social justice liberal America in pain because they deserve it. They deserve it. They deserve it. They have lied to and lied about you people for decades. They are bigots, they are lightweights, they are monstrous sociopathic bastards. And they deserve to suffer. We got Gorka, whoopee. Well, 1 down, 50 to go. We should go for the rest of them too. I mean, the massed ranks of American liberalism with its lies and conspiracy theories, they deserve to suffer. And I think the election of Donald Trump would be, as Michael Moore accidentally gave the greatest political ad of the cycle, which I think people know about that because of me. I think I put it on my Facebook just as a sort of, okay then. And then you get all these sort of media matters and for the record saying, this is taken totally out of context. I was like, I don't care, it's good though, isn't it? I think the election of Donald Trump, as Michael Moore put it, and he's quite right, would be the biggest fuck you in American political history. And the American political establishment deserves a big fuck you. Too much to hope for that the feminists you and I both hate so much will simply drop dead of shock. But I think it will take them a generation to recover their confidence. Let's hope so. Some very high energy waving from over here, you with the hat. Let's do it.
First of all, I just want to say
Well, wait for this, because nobody will be able to hear you at home. See, it's not just you. We've got other people to worry about elsewhere,
I respect you. You're a huge influence. I just wanted to hear your side of the story on the accusation that you took $100,000 out of the privilege grant.
Oh, sure. We were very late on filing paperwork for that, which is my fault because I've been stretched very thin. So we're going to be filing that with the lawyers, I think, next. I don't want to give you a date, but we're filing that. We're going to be a 501c3. That will be capitalized. I'm going to start giving checks out before the end of the tour, and the money is all there ready to go. So yeah, the Daily Beast has, I think there's somebody else in the room actually that got stung by the Daily Beast as well. Daily Beast has a long history of throwing allegations like this out. People sort of repeated it without checking, but I spend 50 grand a month. I don't need 100 grand. Yeah, you'll start to see more news about that soon, and you can go to privilegegrant.com to check up on that. Thanks. Yep, you. In the grey, yeah, perfect. There was a grey Trump t-shirt. Well, it was you behind.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, either of the two of you, whatever. I don't care. I'll take either or both.
Hey there, Milo.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Okay, I've actually got a little bit of a hardball for you. I'm a big fan.
Good. I like difficult questions.
When you were on Dave Rubin's show, or you were speaking with him, you said that you wanted nothing more than to see after Donald Trump's election, to
Yes.
see that the Republican Party never wins another election. You said you hope it'll destroy the Republican Party. And
Right.
today you've been sort of echoing a different sentiment. So my
Yeah.
question to you is, I'm sorry to cut you off, but my question to you is, how committed to you on to the future of the current Republican Party, and how do you see it?
No, it's a good question, and it's worth clarification. I think it's what I obviously perhaps the way I would have phrased it on Dave's show was the Republican Party as currently constituted. Since then, Donald Trump has sort of engineered a bit of a coup of the Republican Party, and if there is a hope that he can maintain control of it and wrest control of its various different bits of apparatus from people like Paul Ryan, then sure, I'm all for the Republican Party. Great, long may she reign. If that's not the case, then it does deserve to burn, as I said a couple of times this evening, along with the Democrat Party, because neither is fit for purpose any longer. And if the I hope that was clear from the context on the Rubin, but if it wasn't, that's what I meant. That the Republican Party, as currently constituted, when I said that, certainly does deserve to go up in flames. The party as it is today, well, I guess we'll see. But if Trump doesn't win and the Republican Party takes the opportunity to go back to business as usual, then I think it deserves utter extermination. Thank you. You want to go too? Yeah, sure.
Thank you for being here today, Milo. It's a pleasure. It's an honor.
Thank you.
I'm a graduate of this university many years ago. Most of the people here are half my age, but what I wanted to ask you about was Europe specifically. I've been to Europe many times. My wife is English. I've been to London a number of times, and each time I go, I see the cultural Marxism take place.
Yeah.
And from my point of view, especially the UK, in London, which I've been to a number of times, which is where my wife's family resides in, I perceive and I see most of these Western European countries as being failed states. And I wanted to ask you what you think. Do you think these states are now failed? Do you think that they're beyond being helped? Because from what I see, I think that the infestation and the cancer has become so bad and it's metastasized so badly that I don't know if there's any way for most of these European countries, Western European countries at least, to come back and to have some semblance of the values and the culture that where they need to be and where they used to be.
Yeah, I think by and large you're right. They're probably beyond saving, which is why Brexit was so great, so wonderful. It's very encouraging to me, by the way, very encouraging that so many of you know what Brexit is and give a shit about it. And the reason it matters to you is because it was another example of when the polls said this was going to happen. The establishment said if you vote this way, you're a bigot and a xenophobe and a reactionary conservative loser, and you're on the wrong side of history. Well, who's laughing now? We were told all sorts of things by the media, by the pollsters, by politicians, and none of them turned out to be true. In fact, nothing bad happened, and as the UK exits the European Union, it's going to have the opportunity to reclaim control of its borders, to save itself as the rest of Europe tumbles into oblivion. And it tumbles into oblivion not just thanks to the spread of socialism, the spread of social justice, but also, of course, to weak borders. That's why this election matters so much here, because what matters here matters everywhere. And if Brexit can happen, and if Donald Trump can be elected, then maybe globalist elites will get the message that we don't fucking want it. So the UK is probably, with no disrespect, I think America's probably the best country. But the UK is the most interesting country, and the UK continues to be the most interesting country. I hope that it will survive, and I hope that it will be all right. But I got to tell you, London looks very different than it did even 10 years ago. It's going to take some repair work, some remedial work, to fix the infrastructural problems and the political correctness and the socialism in London. I mean, this is a country where 1,400 girls were raped in Rotherham by Pakistani rape gangs. And the government report, not right-wing media, the government report, said that the reason that these 1,400 girls were attacked by these, father, son, and uncle rape gangs, just unimaginable crimes, was that the police and local authorities were afraid of appearing Islamophobic. that stuff has to go. Has to go, go, go. Cannot be allowed. And you cannot... You can't have it here. You can't allow this stuff to take root in America. You just can't. This is the country that 9/11 happened in, and then Orlando. And a significant portion of Americans still haven't learned their lessons yet. You still haven't got it. Well, you've got to get it now, because if you don't get it this election, you're done for. All right, I think I can do another couple. Is that oh, it's a furry at the back. Oh, look at you. Yeah. Oh, no, I saw you earlier. Yes.
Meow, 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 meow. Can you hear?
Are you fresh from yiffing?
Yeah.
Have you been yiffing today? He doesn't know what it is, you see. You've come in a furry outfit and you don't even know what furry sex is. Do your homework, sir.
Milo, you are stunning and brave. Your charisma is only matched by your genius. And when you
Okay,
predicted
I forgive you for everything I said a minute ago.
No, thank you. Thank you. When you made the prediction earlier, I think on the drunken peasants, that social justice would die in 2016 or begin its death. Thank you. And I'd like to ask 3 yes or no questions.
Okay.
1, would you consider yourself to be a friend of the libertarians or libertarian movement?
You can't. I didn't agree to yes or no. You just said they were yes or no. I like libertarians in principle. I just find them tedious in practice. You know, I like everything they say. I just don't really want to have dinner with them. So I mean, I think we're fellow travelers on many things.
2nd, before you identified as a snow leopard, did you know the furry stereotype of snow leopards are that they're the most fabulous faggots, as well as possibly size queens?
I was under the impression that they are hungry bottoms, which was what somebody told me.
Yeah.
I, of course, being a good Catholic, have no idea what that means. But somewhere between what I said and what you said is probably about right. What's your 3rd question?
Would you be kind enough to grope me and give me that honor at some point?
No, I'm not. No. I don't want anyone to be offended, but there's been an outbreak of demands for tonguing at my speeches recently, and I will give you a hug afterwards. But
Thank you.
Keep it over the fur. All right. Thank you very much. All right, I need some high energy waving because I only have a couple of questions. Yeah, good. Oh, see, there we go. Some initiative over here. No, he's definitely the highest energy waver. This guy in white at the back. There you go. Definitely the highest energy waver.
Okay, so Milo, I know you don't have a Twitter, but can I get a new AVI for my Twitter?
Oh, you want a picture?
Yes,
of course,
with
darling.
you.
Of course. Why don't you come up afterwards?
Okay.
I'll look out for you, okay?
Okay.
Don't do it now because we're going to do questions. But come and find me afterwards, and I promise. Thank you very much. Everybody's pointing at you, so not you. Let's take the lady here. This one, you, the blonde? Yes, there we go. In the reserved seating. You must be important.
Hi.
Hi.
I love you, Milo.
Thank you. Me too.
Can I ask?
We already have so much in common.
I was wondering about your opinion on this whole body acceptance movement.
I'll tell you. Fat people are gross. I can understand being born with disadvantages, you know. Well, I mean, I can try to imagine what it might have been like, you know. You might be born poor, and there's nothing you can do about it, as awful as that sounds. There's nothing that you can do about it. You might have been born in a repressive dictatorship. You could have been born in, there are all sorts of birth circumstances which are suboptimal, but nobody is born a ham planet. Nobody, no, even Trigglypuff. I'm sure she came out relatively normally sized. No reasonable, kind, decent person is going to complain for something. Is going to judge you or blame you for things about yourself that you cannot change, whether it's where you were born or what you were born, what skin color you have, your orientation, if you happen to believe that that's entirely a question of genetics. But we can blame people for the bad decisions they make. For instance, becoming feminists. Or voting for Hillary Clinton. Or any number of other terrible things that you have willingly walked into. Well, overeating falls into that category. And it's my view, to be serious for a moment, that conservatives are often called heartless and mean and cruel and sociopathic. Well, I can't imagine anything more awful, anything more vile and selfish than some lesbianic old harpy in a gender studies department telling vulnerable, impressionable young girls that they can eat themselves to oblivion, disease, and death and they'll be fine. That they're healthy at any size. It's a fucking lie, and these people should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed of themselves because all they're really doing is trying to make other people as miserable as they are. And it's not good enough. And the body positivity and fat acceptance movement is a cancer. It is disgusting. Not just the results it produces, which are disgusting, but it is morally repugnant. And for retailers like JCPenney, not I don't suppose that I would ever be found in a JCPenney, regardless, but retailers like JCPenney celebrating unhealthy lifestyles that will lead to illness and early death, for me, is one of the most unacceptable things going on in American public life, and you should resist it at every turn with as many fat jokes as you can muster. All right, I can do one more question. One last question. Medium energy, medium to high energy. What? You want me to be on the left side of the room? Is it for him or is it for you? Oh, I'm gonna go with the. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with the red, with the yellow hat. Yeah. I made a popular choice. I can see that. Okay, good. All right. Go ahead.
All right. I've been a pretty big fan since before I was even into politics. Just watching you kind of slam on feminists.
Well,
and
thanks.
One of your videos, I'm not sure which one because I've seen too many to count at this point, but it got me super into politics in general. And I switched majors to political journalism. And I was wondering which way, like how you go about finding your sources so I can kind of get back and get into that. Like, I don't know if you just kind of look into other political, like, news outlets and give your opinion, or if
well, that's
you
not
actually
reporting.
like, go out and do it.
Sure. It's a good question. So, the left has done this great thing where now, because it's been engaged in the business of attacking culture, and it's been occupying universities, the media, and everywhere else for so long that now there's this sort of conveyor belt where you'll get bogus studies that come from gender studies departments or sociology departments or whatever, that go into reports that become think tanks that get into reporting, and there's this sort of air of authority and all the rest of it, and you have to really drill down to work out what a credible source actually looks like these days. I've had to work very hard as a conservative to find reliable sources that are not that are based on data and science. I would encourage you to do two things. One is, in whatever your chosen field of study or reporting is, to make friends with good people who will point you in good directions. I, for instance, have lent very heavily on Christina Hoff Sommers when I write about gender work and feminism. And from there, you discover people like Camille Paglia and Helen Smith and all these other great people. And two, go back to the original data. You will read extraordinarily desperate attempts to meddle with government data, with like police information, with Department of Justice statistics, all this kind of stuff from the left, because they're very good at doing it and they're very used to it. And they'll release all sorts of sort of analyses and they're all bollocks. But go back to the original data, because when you do that, for instance, you discover that the campus rape crisis, total fucking horse shit. Gender wage gap, total fucking horse shit. And all you've got to do is educate yourself on the relevant discipline and look at the data. And by and large, for the most part, government data is pretty good. It's at least a lot better than the advocacy research you'll get from the left. depending on what field you want to go into, I would just encourage you to make good, decent friends you can trust who will point you in the right direction, because it's very tough out there to find unbiased sources of information if you have any views other than bonkers social justice ones, for whom there's a vast ecosystem of bullshit research and pseudoscience. As a conservative or a libertarian, you have to work a little harder, but we're out here, so come and write to us, and every once in a while you'll get somebody who takes an interest in you and gives you a hand. And just go back to the data, because reality has a well-known conservative bias. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you. I'm going to give this back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, darling.
You have Ariana to thank for all of this.